about the news. Now here's one. We'll go a little bit in depth with this. This is pretty cool. This is reported by solarsystem.nasa.gov, and we're going to go back a ways before we get to the new news story here. So this was the Bereshit mission. All right, remember this. We're going to talk about this for just a second here, and then we'll get into the rest of this. Bereshit was Israel's first lunar mission and the first attempt by a private company to land on the moon. The mission achieved lunar orbit, but was lost during an April 2019 landing attempt. NASA had installed a small laser retroreflector aboard the lander to test its potential as a navigation tool. Bereshit means in the beginning in Hebrew. All right, so just real fast before we get into the next part of this, Bereshit crash landed specifically, and there's what it looks like, the impact site before and after, and we're going to talk about why this matters and why things might be a changing on the moon. In just a second, though, let's play this real quick and get to, let's see, hold on. Let's get to this. Just a quick message here on how you can support the show if you enjoy what we're doing here. Remember, we don't have a marketing department. We don't have a ton of support except for you. So this is one of the ways you can help if you enjoy what we're doing and dig this type of content. Speaking of dig, let's go straight to this. Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up the two accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us. Okay, that's like I said, more succinct way of doing it, so there you are. All right, so check this out. So this is the Bereshit mission. It was a lunar landing mission. All right, and so Bereshit was about 5 feet, 1 meter tall by 7.5 feet, which is 2.3 meters wide, with its landing gear and legs deployed. The lander separated first from the rocket, taking the long route to the moon to save fuel by employing gravitational forces to propel itself. Bereshit slowly widened an elliptical orbit around Earth until it was captured by the moon's gravity and ultimately commanded to descend. All right, Bereshit attempted to touch down on April 11th, 2019, in an ancient volcanic field known as the Sea of Serenity. NASA's Apollo 17 astronauts landed near this region in December 11th, 1972. The team lost contact with the spacecraft shortly before expected touchdown. That would be Bereshit. And there's the landing. As you can see, there's now a crater because it crashed. Yeah. While NASA regrets, if I can say it, while NASA regrets the end of the Space IL mission, without a successful lunar landing of the Bereshit lander, we can congratulate Space IL, the Israel Aerospace Industries, and the State of Israel on the incredible accomplishment of sending the first privately funded mission into lunar orbit. NASA Administrator Jim Bridenstine said on April 11th, "Every attempt to reach new milestones holds opportunities for us to learn, adjust, and progress. I have no doubt that Israel and Space IL will continue to explore, and I look forward to celebrating their future achievements." All right, so they sent it up. They actually lost contact with it somewhere between here and the moon, then reestablished contact in a lucky stroke of, thank goodness, and then it ultimately crashed into the moon itself. All right, so now, why is that important? Why are we talking about this? Old news. Everybody knows this. Just to brief you on what the crash may have heralded for the moon in coming days. Now, this is definitely interesting and worth looking at and talking about, and it stems from that Israeli Bereshit mission in 2019. So let's look at this. Reported by Inverse.com. Tardigrades may have taken over the moon. In April 2019, the Israeli Bereshit spacecraft crash landed on the moon, like we said. Along for the ride were thousands of tiny creatures, which scientists now think may have spilled out and littered the lunar surface. Bereshit had some unusual cargo. In an attempt to document life on Earth, a nonprofit organization by the name of the Arch Mission sent a library to the moon aboard the craft. The Library of Life included a stack of discs archiving 30 million pages of information about Earth, a copy of the entire English-language Wikipedia, human DNA samples, and a mega payload of thousands of tardigrades. Yeah, those tardigrades, water bears as they're also known. Tardigrades are microscopic animals, otherwise known as water bears. They may also now be the only potentially alive organisms on the moon. Bearsheet's strange occupants were dehydrated tardigrades, a process which essentially slows their metabolism down and suspends them in a near-life state. The idea was that if they were to be rehydrated by someone or something, then they would come back to life, ostensibly telling future lunar explorers about life on Earth today. So I'm not exactly sure, like, this is a little bit weird. We're sending documents to the moon, like we're never going to get there again, or there's something weird with this anyway. But the important part is that these are actual life forms, and not only life forms, these are known as some of the most robust life forms on Earth. Right? They can be basically dehydrated down to almost nothing, live for a very, very, very long time, and then be resurrected when you put some water back into them. So anyway, here we go. Let's see. Okay. So, but the spacecraft carrying the tardigrades didn't land on the moon according to plan, instead crashing on the lunar surface and losing contact with ground control. Despite the impact, scientists believe that if anything survived the crash intact, it may well have been the tardigrades. The microscopic creatures were sandwiched between micron-thin sheets of nickel and suspended in epoxy, a resin-like preservative that acts like a jelly, potentially enough to cushion their landing. This is not a totally outlandish idea. Tardigrades have been shown to survive the harsh conditions of space in the past. Yeah, so life forms on Earth, now on the moon, and not only that, these things, like it says, have been not only known to survive space in the past, also extremely harsh conditions here on Earth. So if anything can survive on the moon, it is these things. So, as they say, there's some water on the moon. What happens if they ended up somehow rehydrating from the lunar water up there as it kind of comes and goes? Pretty crazy stuff, right? So this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Did we actually populate the moon with tardigrades? And are they up there doing their tardigrade thing, their water bear thing, living in microscopic Moonville and turning it into something that maybe was never intended? Who knows? Who knows what's really going on with this? But